Hey y'all, hey, back with another video. So today we are going to be reviewing Last Man Standing, Naked and Afraid, Last Man Standing, Season 2, okay? Now, I appreciate everybody. I see the pickup and my Naked and Afraid from Season 1. I didn't even know there was a Season 2 until I saw the uptick on my other videos, but there apparently is a Season 2. So, we're going to go over this episode by episode versus the whole season like I did last time because a lot needs to be said. But before I go any further, I'm not by myself. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. It's your boy True.
All right, so we're here. He has a lot of thoughts. So for the most part, I'm really going to take a back seat to a lot of this. But before we really get into this season, I already did a 20-minute video going off about this last year when it happened. So I'm going to pass it over to you to really speak about last season and get your thoughts off about that.
I would say, overall opinion, it was fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. Naked and Afraid XL, you survive as a group. Everyone is competing against each other. The only person on that entire season that had any brains was Jeff, and they fucking drug him through the fucking mud. And just teamwork. You can't have fucking teamwork when you're trying to get $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 for yourself. How are you gonna? Like, I just don't get that. I never understood that entire season. It just didn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything I had to say about that. I mean, without getting into detail, we're here to review season 2. So
yeah, as I said in my video for last season, this is not Naked and Afraid XL 2.0. That's not what this is. It's called Last Man Standing. So the way everyone was acting last season was really, truly annoying. We're not here to kumbaya. Again, that's Naked and Afraid XL. If you're doing Last Man Standing, I would assume it's competition based. So if it's a competition based, we need to run it as a competition. But we'll talk about that throughout this episode. So for this time around, they're in Zimbabwe, Africa. I don't know why. That's racist. I shouldn't have did that. Or
you're black. I mean, you're not.
Not racist, Africa. But you know, xenophobic. Whatever. Not that. You know what I mean. Anyway, Zimbabwe, the Munzwa Valley is where they're at. So we're going to go through the people that are here this season. So first off, we have Dan. So Dan came in second place last year. He was really, really good. I think he did better than most people expected. Any thoughts on Dan?
I don't like him. I don't think he's a survivalist. I don't think he has any survival skills. I think he's greedy. I think he needs to shut the fuck up a lot of the times.
Oh, tell us how you really feel. Okay. Now that I've watched a couple episodes, yes, that's what I think of Dan. But going into this,
no, that was from last season.
Really, I didn't think about. I don't know. Dan didn't really stick out to me a lot.
Exactly.
I just
survival skills.
I do agree with the fact that he made it further than I thought he would, but that's just that. Then we have Kai. I don't know too much about Kai. I can't remember. Do you remember much about Kai prior to this? Just the dark-haired lady.
The vegetarian?
No, the lady with the dark hair.
Nope.
Okay, alrighty. And then we move on to Bullet, which...
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, we just watched that episode with him not that long ago. What was he on? Was he on, he was on a group one, right?
I think it was XL, but you know him. He's a loner. I think he went on by himself.
Was it the Stranded Island one?
No, I don't think it was that. Well, no, I don't think it was that because I remember him fishing in a pond. And it wasn't a pond. It was like a puddle, but there was fish in there. And he actually pulled it out with his hands, and I believe he even punched it.
I think it might have been Castaways.
I don't know. It was something like that.
I think so. I think it was Naked and Afraid Castaways where it had that other lady with the surgery. lips that you always do.
Oh yeah, plastic surgery lady.
Yeah, but anyway, Bullet is really, really good. Then we have Darren. So Darren, that's your homie because of the rat episode. That's the only way I remember him.
Man, bro was eating on that episode though. I mean, that's the only time I could say on Naked and Afraid, not Excel, obviously, you know, they brought down big mammals and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But Darren was thriving. I don't know why his partner didn't want to eat no rats. Girl, you were out here in the woods, naked, starving. This boy's trap was going off obviously on TV it's a lot more than it probably was in any given time, but as far as we can tell, it's going off every 5 minutes.
That shit was driving me up the wall. I was with her, bro. That had to stop. Okay, but he is a survivalist, so I figured he was going to do really good this competition.
I'm rooting for you, bro.
Then we have Trish, which we ain't really got to get much into Trish because she ain't here a long time the same way. Okay, then we have Gary. So I remember Gary from last season. Gary to me is just he's way too cocky, and it's okay to be confident, but you're cocky to the point to where you hurt yourself. You think you know everything, and then you end up getting yourself taken out because of the dumb shit that you end up doing.
Well, yeah, he reminds me of like a young, I want to say like teenager / young adult, maybe maximum 25. You know, showing off with your friends, you know, life of the party kind of guy. But we're not here for that. We're here to survive, to show us you have skills. Mm-hmm. I like Gary kind of, sort of. I don't think he really has that many skills. I think he just likes to eat whatever for the camera.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's a camera guy.
Then we have Lacey. I don't really remember much about Lacey. Then we have Russell. I know you said you have remembered Russell very briefly, but he was on here a really long time ago. And then we have Kate. Kate is the crazy, insane bitch who just, I know we not there yet, but I would never bring her back if I was the producers. I would never bring her back. Don't waste our time and our money and our resources.
Oh, her.
Yeah, we'll get to her. Then we have Fernando, which I don't remember much about Fernando prior to this. Do you?
I remember seeing him. I feel like, from what I remember, he's like a Dan. So, not really likable.
Gay? Oh.
Well, no. That has nothing to do with anything. I don't care if he is gay or straight, whatever he wants.
Okay, then we have Lindsay. Lindsay's pretty okay. Then we have Patrick. And then we have Danny. Danny is the vegetarian one.
Okay. I just want to say this. If you're going to go on Naked and Afraid and you are a vegetarian, I pray to God you put on as many calories, as much body fat as you possibly can that vegetables and your diet can provide for you, because y'all motherfuckers be coming on here and be starving. I mean, like, she's already skinny. Every time at the end of the show, she's like anorexic. So, like, again, just expand your diet, or at least do more research into your environment, because I feel like there's a lot more food available and than you guys seem to like lead on for. Go ahead, though. Yeah,
so then we move on, and then the last person they show obviously is Jeff. Of course they're going to bring Jeff back. That's the star of last season. Y'all played in his face all last season. So, yes, he deserves to come back for redemption. Okay? So, everyone pretty much meets up kind of like in the same area. And so they go over, like, you know, some of the rules at the time. And one of the main things that's pointed out is that they are competing as individuals.
No groups. Well, outside of the group, no sharing. You can only trade things for other things.
That's later. Now, that's later.
Oh.
They don't say that at that part.
Oh, but you're right. That's after they eliminate the first two.
Yeah, that's okay. But they're competing as individuals. Obviously, they're probably going to be broken up, you know, into groups and things like that. We know that. But I think that's said for a reason, so that people don't come in here with the mentality of, oh, we're just going to be sharing, which people had that mentality anyway. But again, we'll get to that later. So I really like that this season. So last season, they really just kind of threw everybody into groups and just kind of made them, the first like challenge was, okay, everybody broke up into pairs, and they had to like survive a certain amount of days. If their partner tapped, that means that they had to go too. But this time around, it's like they're more so doing it like kind of like Survivor or like The Challenge. They're literally giving them like many little tasks, little challenges to do. So first they have to create a blade, and not like a real blade, but maybe like a sharp rock or something like that. And then they have a rope that they have to cut to have a knife drop down. Once that happens, they grab the knife, and then they have to go down to like this lake and pretty much make like a fake ass hook to pretty much reel in something that has a scroll and a map on it. So what did you think? How did you think everybody did on the challenge as a whole, and like specifically with like creating something sharp? Because that's where everybody was having a hard time, like creating something sharp to cut the rope.
Okay. The only person on here that I feel exceeded in this challenge was my boy Darren. He's the only one that knew. I mean, I don't know if I always assumed it was common sense, but you just don't go slamming rocks around until you find a sharp one. No. First of all, you need to know what kind of rock you're using. Its durability. I'm not saying everyone needs to be a stone master. I don't know what the exact name for that is. But yeah, common sense would just tell you that. And a lot of the nabs that I was looking at weren't even nabs. They just found a rock and just start rubbing it on the freaking rope. And yeah, no. Don't even get me started on the hooks. Did you want to say something about the hooks before I go in on them?
Yeah, so Darren was first, as you said. He was the first person to get the rope down. I want to say before you get into the hooks that Jeff took forever to make his hook, but I did say when he was making it, yo, as long as it's taking you to make it, you better get it on the first time. And he did. So I'm going to leave him alone, but he did take forever. But that's all that I have on the rope part, but go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to the making the hooks, like, all of these people are supposed to be survivalists. I'm assuming at least all of them fished at least once on the episodes that they were on. And with that being said, then they know what hooks look like. I forgot who the lady was. I forgot her name was. One of the, I think she was blonde or something like that.
Was it the one that went home?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Lacey.
She freaking grabbed a freaking mini tree. She grabbed a log.
She did.
And thought that she was going to be able to throw it. Now, look, I'm not trying to be sexist here. Maybe one of the guys could have got it out there, but even that would have been a struggle on Naked and Afraid. Why the fuck would you get something that heavy when you know you got to throw it at least 10 to 15 feet into the lake?
And what killed me was that she kept saying, I think I grabbed one too big. So I'm like, why won't you switch it out? Because she was one of the first people to get there.
Just go back.
So it's like, just go back and get another one. But she's like, no, I have to stay with the girl. As everybody is coming and leaving and coming and leaving and coming and leaving, it's time for you to stop.
It's to stop, reevaluate your situation, make a plan, and execute it. Don't just sit there and say, this is not working, and then keep trying to make it work. There's no logic to that. That is insanity. What the hell is wrong with you, girl?
Yeah, she tried to catch, I believe it was Danny, maybe that was like one of the last people, I think, maybe to do it. It was either Danny or somebody else, but there was somebody else that was like finished right before her.
It was Danny.
Yeah, and so, but Danny ended up getting the last, little scroll. So the people that went home was Lacey and Russell. Both of those people went home.
I was so happy to see Russell go. I didn't like him in the Naked and Afraid episode. If I'm not mistaken, Russell is the guy. I'm not going to say this was the first episode of Naked and Afraid, but it was one of the first ones that I seen when I first was introduced to the show, seeing commercials and stuff. But he had an anger problem, and the one girl that he was on there with, I think that was Naked and Afraid XL, the first episode. Either way, it was one of the two. Either way, I think he ended up hooking up with that girl afterwards, like on the plane and stuff. They were like really, really close. I'm not going to make assumptions here. I didn't look in people's lives, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't like him because of the anger. He didn't show any survival skills then, and I don't even know why the fuck he came back onto this. I thought he disappeared.
Okay, all right. So everybody goes, they get their scroll, and meaning that it's, they get to move on. So everyone gets together again. Well, not gets together again, but when they get their scroll, everyone goes off into their individual camps. Now there are going to be 4 different camps, and so this is how everything gets broken up. So you have Gary, Danny, Lindsay, that's one team. Balint, Darren, Kai, that's the second team. Fernando, Trish, and Dan is the third team. And then Jeff, Patrick, and Kate. Now, Patrick and Kate were talking before Jeff got there. And Kate was saying how she didn't know if she could really take Jeff as a person. And then, obviously, Jeff pops up.
Speak of the devil, he said.
Speaking of the devil. So, off of first look, what group would you have given like the edge to, just off of first look?
Off the rip, my boy Darren and fucking Bullet. What you mean? They got this.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, because to me, like, those are the most. I don't know too much about Kai, but Balint and Darren are pretty good. And then I had maybe like Fernando, Trish, and Dan next to me. To me at the time.
I hear you.
Jeff is really, really good, but again, I just didn't know how he would get along with everybody else, because he's kind of hard to get along with.
I don't want to say Jeff is really, really good. I think he can adapt and overcome. As far as skills under his belt, I can't really say. He's a fisherman for sure. He could fucking fish his ass off. Well, he's shown that plenty of times. But outside of that, I mean, him and Patrick together. Patrick, I like him. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do like him. Only weak link in that team would be Kate, and I'm sorry, I had them as the runner-up to Bullet's team.
Yeah, got you. So the second challenge that they had, so remember last season there were caches left all around, and people had to pretty much go out and find it. So same thing. The difference now, before we get to the actual rules, Dan is saying, this is going to be great because we're just all going to help each other and we're just going to share like they did last season. Only for the paper to say there is no sharing allowed.
I'm just going to
only clap. Bartering. When I am telling you, I stood up and clapped. I said, yes, please. Thank you so much. Jeff was like, this is made for me. We know that you guys made those changes because I'm going to assume y'all heard probably all the hoopla about how that shit was a hot ass mess.
I don't even think that. I think they wanted that to be the original point of the game, but it's just because everyone grouped up together, and the only person that was kind of going that route was Jeff. He was the oddball out, so they had to go with the majority. You're not going to tell them, all right, look, you guys either do it this way or you're going to get kicked out. The whole show would be canceled at that point. So they had to specify now in the details so they wouldn't do the same thing they did last season, which, again, shout out to the producer and whoever the hell else came up with that idea to put that in writing.
Please, because again, we need to make it clear that yes, you're going to work, because again, I said this in my last video. Survivor. With Survivor, there is only one winner, but you are split up into tribes and you do challenges together as a group, but there's still one individual winner. So you have to learn to work within your group and individually as well. It's very possible to do a show like that. It's been done for over 20 damn years. So I'm glad that, again, somebody decided, let's make it clear that this is a competition, not some kumbaya shit. And they also said pretty much that anything that's left unattended is up for grabs. So
when I seen that, I was like, whoa, and this is about to get messy.
Right, and it reminded me of Outlast or whatever, which this sidebar, Outlast season 2 was not good. I'm sorry, it just wasn't as good as season 1. But for the same reasons that season 1 of this show wasn't good is why Outlast season 2 was not good. But anyway, so everyone's talking about what cache they're gonna go and try to get. So we have Gary and his team. They're going to go get the bow, and then Jeff and Kate decide that they're gonna go and try to get the bow too. Now, when they get there, both kind of like around the same time, and so the thing is that they have to kind of make like a makeshift ladder to get up to the bow. Now, when they first get there, Jeff is like, "Where's your rope, Kate?" Oh, I just left it. What do you mean you left it?
And that stupid, non-thinking, dumb shit.
So
Excuse my language.
he has
I
to
hate
go
that.
all the way. They have to go all the way back to go and get it. While obviously Gary and them are working on their ladder. Now, at this point, by the time they get back, now Jeff is rushing so much to try to get it. He's just doing anything. He ain't even attempting to really put something together. He's literally doing some makeshift shit. He threw the rope on like a branch that was kind of hanging out a little bit and tried to climb it. And everybody's like, bro, get down. Get down. Because what are you even doing, right? And so while they're doing that, some of their stuff is laying on the ground. And Danny runs over, grabs the rope that one of the ropes that they just came back with, and pretty much takes it, and it's hers because again it was left unattended, so all fair game. What you think about that part?
I was very proud of her. That was a bold move, especially just after hearing the rules of the competition and what you are allowed to do and not allowed to do. So far, yeah, I mean, I didn't think she had the kahunas to do that.
Yeah, I was like, come on, let's go, Danny. So eventually Jeff gets down. They are able to make their ladder, Gary and them, and they're able to actually get it. Now, the funny part is when it drops, you couldn't really see from the camera angle. It looked like it dropped on one of the girls' shoulder, but you couldn't really tell. So Jeff pretty much speeds over there to try to get it off, but it's on her. And again, so it's only when it's left unattended. She had it in her possession. So, like, nice try, Jeff. I saw what you was trying to do, but, like...
No, that was out of spite. He didn't think that they would do that to him immediately and him specifically. So I think that was more so like... Yeah, no. I'm getting something out of you guys, and if that boat drops and you guys are just focused on getting Gary out the tree, I'ma snag it. But you seen he tried to do the little tug of war, and that's when we all realized it was like looped around her arm almost, which smart move.
Yeah, so at this point, everyone else kind of goes out to get their different cachets. So where we end the episode is that, let's see, Gary, Danny, and Lindsay, they have the bows. Belant, Darren, and Kai, they have the fishing line / hooks. Fernando, Trish, and Dan, they have the bows and arrows plus the fishing line and hooks. And then Jeff and them, they have the hide. So the people that came out on top of this was Dan, Trish, and Fernando. They had the most. So, and that pretty much was episode 1. I thought episode 1 was really good. Again, I like the fact that they're setting the table of this is a competition. Yes, you're working in groups, but again, individual competition. So do what you gotta do. We also okay if y'all get a little nasty, a little dirty, a little underhanded. We actually would prefer that for the show. That's what it's giving me that they're promoting, and I'm here for it. I give the episode 8 out of 10. It's already better than the entire season. Season one. Season 1. I'm not gonna hold you. Episode 1 is better than the entire season 1. Off top. But go ahead.
Hands down agree with that. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. Honestly, I'm gonna say like an 8.6. Honestly, it was a really good first episode. Like I said, going back into what you said with the comparing to season 1, night and day difference. Sorry, I'm getting overwhelmed just thinking about the rules again and how everything played out. But yeah, like I said, I was happy that they allowed stealing. Hell, that I would say they should follow suit as far as what you say it was called Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast.
They should follow suit with that a little more. That way, people when they go out looking for food, foraging and stuff like that, or hunting or whatever, you can sneak it in their camps and take whatever you need versus bartering. I always did agree with bartering, and that's why I never understood why they didn't just do that in season 1, even though Jeff tried multiple times. And the barters were very fair in that episode, no seasons.
And that's a fact. I forgot. He definitely did try to barter in the beginning. And they were like, no, we need to just be sharing, not switching. And it's like, what?
Like, it doesn't even make any sense. The whole point of bartering, it's not like you're paying for something. Crazy. You're exchanging something for something else.
Yeah.
Equal value. What do you need? Okay. You don't need nothing that I have? Okay, well, can I at least borrow your boat? And if I kill something, you guys get half. Or if there's a majority of you guys than there is us, you'll get majority of it, and we'll get what we need to survive. In that regard, barter system makes sense. But for them to be that spiteful to Jeff in that regard was just, y'all were very petty and pathetic. I'm sorry, in season 1. And some of you I did like until I seen y'all being very, very, very petty. But going back into this season 2, episode 1, phenomenal. Keep up the great work. Can't wait to see episode 2.
All right. Get in the comments. Oh, bye.